Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are, mi gente. We are back at it again. And thank you so much for joining me on this fine Monday. It's not even that serious. It's only 70 degrees. And for joining me every other Monday. Don't forget to head over to Instagram at itsmi.chelle. Make sure you follow. I follow back. All right. And make sure you click on that link in the bio for the podcast platforms, La Comai's merch corner, and so much more. All right. Let's get it.
I see you. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me, Shell bitch.
Hey, Gente, welcome back to another week of the It's Me Shell podcast. And remember, my job is to make your road to Friday a lot easier. Mi gente, feliz lunes, happy Monday. I hope you had an amazing weekend. I know my hair looks a little short, but I promise it's just all the shrinkage. I have a lot of good Dominican products in. They make it very moistureful. I mean, it's been very humid. It's been raining. It's been hot. Like the weather's been all over the place. So you have to protect el pelito, la melena, los cabellitos. You have to protect your hair. So that's what we've been doing this entire weekend. But it's cute. It's giving. It's giving short bob curls. You know, whatever. Anyway, I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. It was nice enough. So we went out. We went to the movies, and then we just played a whole bunch of board games at home. Wasn't anything too crazy, very chill, but it put me in the mode for this episode. But y'all know how we do over here, all right? So if you're heading to work, already at work, or walking into your humble abode because your day is over, let me help you forget that it's Monday by setting a different scene. I'm gonna create the scenario for y'all. I'll give you some time to get ready. All right, vámonos. Imagine as a young girl growing up in an environment full of jealousy, hatred, misguidance, animosity, and not being able to understand why, but just knowing that this is your life, this is your norm. Now, fast forward to adulthood when you finally escaped that living hell and you speak to other women, listen to their stories, and realize that you have one thing in common. You all have a toxic mother. So I did an episode about toxic families. And it was also on, I also did like a mini episode, or I was on Red Lipstick Vibes with the host, Miss Ty. Hey, girl, hey. And I also spoke about toxic families. I kind of dabbled with toxic mothers in a different sense. So make sure you go tune into that because it was a great time, very informative. But I've always kind of expressed how I felt about toxic families. By the way, trigger warning through for this whole episode because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But anyway, I've kind of dabbled in and out of talking about toxic parents, toxic families, and stuff like that. And this week we're talking about toxic mothers. Okay. So I was scrolling through the app where all the drama happens, TikTok, or better known as a TikTok. And I went down the rabbit hole of Tokyo Tony and Blacc Chyna, or I should say Angela White, because that is her name. And I think she's starting to use her real name or her government name. And the further down this rabbit hole I went, the more I realized, God damn it, this is a very, very toxic mother and daughter relationship. And I am not a fan of Blacc Chyna. And I don't mean that in a mean way or a negative way. I just don't know a lot about her. And the most I've learned about her was when I was kind of doing research for this episode. So, I've never seen her reality show. I know she has a child with Tigga and Rob Kardashian. What else do I know? I know that I have little notes. So again, I'm going side to side as always because I gotta keep it real. I know that she doesn't have, well, no, first, I know that I've never listened to any of her music. Maybe I have, I just don't know it's her. So I'm just saying all that to say that I really don't know much about her. But as I was going down this rabbit hole, I've read that, I don't think she has full custody, or she has like joint custody but doesn't have her children most of the time. And listen, sometimes it works out that way. But that's as far as I got, because I kind of geared myself more towards the toxic relationship she has or had with her mother. So I know that she's on this newfound journey of healing and, I guess, refinding herself. And I did watch some videos that were talking about her removing, she has like a Baphomet tattoo and getting rid of all her fillers in her cheeks, her lips, her ass, all that stuff. And honestly, like I said before, that's as much as I know. So as I surfed the world of the wide web, I came across this video.
ASAP! After this shit, I got a fucking plane ticket, babe. What's up? Cause I'm done! With your lies! You lied on me!
And this is why I'm about to break the cycle. King and Dream will never see this. Bye.
Oh, okay.
They'll never see it.
Good.
They won't.
Good.
That's why they're not here. Present.
Good. That's why they not here?
I left all that like loud ghetto shit, like all that ratchet shit behind. Like I'm not trying to like put that energy like in the air at all. So if you can't get with it, then you gotta get lost. Dreamy comes Saturday, Sunday.
I don't
Monday.
have nothing to do with
So
that.
wait, so
What
this is
the-
why she's not here.
You a weirdo.
Monday,
A whole
Saturday,
weirdo.
Sunday,
You
Monday, Tuesday,
bipolar.
Wednesday.
Mental issues.
5 days.
You put your hand in my face again, girl.
5 days.
You're gonna stretch your ass across this motherfucking
So
kitchen. You better keep your motherfucking hands on my face.
5 days.
Don't touch me no more.
5 days.
You do it again, I'm gonna rock your world in this motherfucker.
So rock it.
You put your fucking hands on me again.
So rock it.
Put your hands on me again.
Rock it.
You a disrespectful
So 5
ass girl.
days.
You disrespectful is what you are.
I know.
Yeah, you are. I don't care what your mother did to you. I don't care if she sold your pussy to our army. You still better respect your mama. You disrespect everybody. You make your
Saturday.
fucking people cry.
First and foremost, bitch, if you're selling your daughter's pussy to an army, there's no respect. I don't respect you. What? What? Wait, hold on. Honey, cut it all the way out. That makes absolutely no sense. But we're not getting there yet. We're not there yet. We haven't reached that point yet. So this video is what opened up the rabbit hole for me. When I saw that, it reminded me of a lot of bullshit I went through as a child. And I emphasize child because I completely removed myself from that energy, the toxicity, and that situation. But one thing I realized is that Black China's mother keeps saying that she's done this, she's done that, she's got a plane ticket, she's done with all of her daughter's bullshit and the lying. And you can tell that she feels like she has control because she's like yelling and she's being all grandiose. But when her daughter starts to express herself, it seems to hit a chord. Right. And that's what happens with these toxic mothers. Every time you express yourself or you fight back or you say what's on your mind and it doesn't align with what they have in their delusional world, that's when they start to push back. You saw she put her finger in her face and she was literally just like moving her hand out of her face, whatever. And I don't condone violence. And unfortunately, toxic mothers, they love this type of situation. They love bringing you so much out of character that you kind of do snap and you want to smack the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Because trust me, I have been there. That was my life for a very, very long time up until I was pregnant. And then after I had my first child, like it was really a fucking disaster. And that is no way to live. That is no way to be happy. That is no way to treat your daughter. That is not a good mother daughter relationship. All right. However, you can tell that once Black China started saying, well, this is why, my children will never see this. This is why I'm going to break the cycle. She got all offended and that's when she started the threats. But why are you so upset? That is the truth. This is what we as parents try to do. We try to break these generational curses. Why is that a problem? It's not a problem. It's a problem in here. And y'all know how I feel about mental health. All right. Listen, her mother shouts out all these mental illnesses because that's what they do. They try to shout out these things to kind of trigger you. Bipolar. She says she has mental issues. But do we think that's projection? Do we think that the reason her mom is shouting all these things out is because maybe somebody has told her that in the past and she's like, well, I'm going to project this onto somebody else because that's not true. I'm perfect. That can't be true. I am the perfect model of what a mother should be because that's what a lot of mothers think. It really is. And like I said, y'all know how I feel about mental health. And one thing I abhor is when someone tries to use mental illnesses as digs or as way to anger someone, trigger someone just because they want them to hurt or because they want to win at an argument or they want to antagonize them and push them to that limit. All right. Is this okay though for a parent to do? Like for me, I feel like I'm supposed to set examples for not only my children but for other children because being a parent kind of opens you up to being that person, right? Like now you want to make sure that the leader of the new world or the newer generation, that these little leaders grow up having that sense of empowerment. So my question is, do we think that it's okay for parents to feel upset and start shouting things out? Because one thing I have learned in my travels to adulthood is you can't take words back. Once they come out your mouth, you can heal from them, right? You and your partner, you and your parents, you and your mother, you and your siblings, whatever it is, you can heal from them. But once you've said those words, they kind of resonate, and no matter how much healing you do, you've said them. You can't take them back. You can't erase them from history. And that's one thing I feel toxic mothers do. They try to erase these certain moments, like the moment we just watched. They try to erase them from history. Like, no, it never happened, or oh, I was really in a dark place. Yeah, you were, but it did happen. You can't remove that from history. Don't try to take that validation of how I feel or how I felt from that moment away from me because it's my moment. That's what they try to do. They kind of put an overcast over everything, saying, well, everything's fine now. Why are you so mad? Leave it alone. I don't know. Growing up, right? Similar things like this would happen to me. And the more I stood quiet and just listened, just let them be, let them talk, let them speak, give them the opportunity to say whatever it is that they want to say, because clearly that's what they want, right? I wasn't going to argue back. I wasn't going to say anything because that made it worse. But the worse it got for me. So that's also very confusing as a child because it's like I'm giving you what the fuck you want. What else do you want from me? Do you want me to fight back? Do you want me to say? It's almost like they want the argument back and forth. They want that. It's like they feel a sense of power to get you that angry and to get you to curse them out and to it's just like, see, I told you. I told you you were this way. You were just hiding it. No, but anybody in the world would do that. Animals in the wild do that. That is a normal behavior. If you are antagonized by someone over and over and over, you want to defend yourself. That is normal behavior. That's not being bad. That's not hiding something evil inside of you. Very interesting. I don't know. So, another question I have, and please, guys, any question that I am asking, let me know in the comments below. Give me your answers. Do we think this is narcissistic behavior? And again, like I said in the beginning of this episode, trigger warning. Okay, I'm not out here trying to make anyone mad. This is for educational purposes, and I'm speaking on what I know, what I've researched, and my truth. All right. One of the characteristics of narcissism is wanting to be or being the center of attention at all times, whether negative or positive, and that includes their own children, right? And another characteristic about this is almost viewing their children as property. They're not their individual selves, they're not individual people, they are their property. So they can say and treat them as they wish because they brought them into this world. And the amount of times I've heard that, you hear this shit all the time. I don't care what they've done to hurt you, but they're your parents and they're the only parents you have. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Get the fuck out of here. I no, no, you're getting cut off. You're getting cut off. I don't care. Let's normalize cutting off people that don't have your best interest, people that hurt you, even if that includes your toxic. As you can tell, I'm getting like real riled up. Even if that includes your toxic ass fucking mother. Stop. Stop. You're getting cut off. I know women that till this day bend over backwards for their mothers. And in return, they literally get a, well, you could have done more, if you really wanted this to happen or if you really wanted to help me, you could have done a lot more. What? And this is the problem with that behavior. The more we cater to that behavior, the more we don't speak to them about it, put them in their place, try to curb that behavior, it doesn't help. You can fucking rent a room in the White House for your mother. It doesn't help if they don't seek to change their behavior, they don't seek help. If they don't want to change, it doesn't matter what you do. It will never be enough because they gave birth to you, like what do you mean? What do you mean I can't live with you? I gave birth to you. You have to take care of me. Honey, I don't owe you that at all. Like I've said before, and I will say it again. Yes, this is who mothers are. They are our biggest bullies. They're our first bullies, right? And watching this next clip had me asking myself the question, does this really have anything to do with mental health issues? I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Already Angela White born. She created that demonic name, Blacc Chyna. And I never liked that bitch. Because it took away Angela. I haven't seen Angela since 19 years old. She's 34. Haven't seen her since. Still ain't seen her. Angela's gone. No, she's gone. She's not coming back. No fucking time soon. Yeah, that heart is black of my daughters. And as far as I'm concerned, I wish the fuck she never called me. Don't put your dirty, demonic ass fingers down my numbers.
Is this or does this have anything to do with mental health illness? And when talking mental health illness, we have to take a look at the entire picture, the big picture, right? I don't know Tokyo Tony's living situation. She's in her car, her belongings are behind her. Most of her videos, at least the ones that I've researched and that I've looked up, they're in her car. And I remember skimming past a video that said she had beef with like Kris Kardashian over $100. Yeah, I can look that up because I really didn't pay much attention to that. But why do parents feel that their children must provide monetary help if they need it or they don't, just kind of like an allowance? I know parents who think that their children should pay them an allowance. And when you ask, well, why? Why do I need to give you money? The response is always the same. Well, that's the least you can do. The least I can do? No, the least I can do is show you love. That's really the least I can do. Or be grateful, I guess. But grateful for what? What are we being grateful for? Actually, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, fuck that shit. I'm your kid. Like you were supposed to do all these things for me. I'm grateful that we made it. I'm grateful that I went to school every day. I'm grateful that I made friends. I'm grateful that I was able to grow up. But those are just things that I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm just grateful that I made it there because the world that we're living in. But these are things that you have a kid. That's what the fuck you sign up for, honey. I don't know. What do you guys think? My mother would always compare me to other young women. And that's one thing that I learned again throughout the travels of adulthood. It's never a good thing to do because everyone is different, right? But she would always say, well, so and so's daughter just had, just bought a house. Mind you, I'm still a kid at this point. So now you're talking about an adult. You're talking about one woman purchasing her mother, so a grown ass woman purchasing her mother a home or a place for her to live. So I remember one time she told me, "Well, so and so's daughter just bought a house and she finished the basement, so her mother has a place to live." Who the fuck told you I wanted to live with you anyway? I've been running away from you my entire fucking life. What the fuck is that all about? So you think now I want you to live with me? Those young women probably have or had a great relationship with their moms. That's why they want them around all the time. It's kind of like having a very, very good friend, right? You want your good friend around you all the time. But if you don't have that relationship, what the fuck makes you think that I want you around me every single day? Are you kidding me? That's weird. But this next clip reminded me of that. And shout out to the Shade Room for sharing this. This is not my clip. So here we go.
Posting my products one day, the next day it was gone. Really? Really, my little? That's fucked up. I kept it to myself because I'm a big girl now, because I know the deal. See, you can't get me though. I can't do that because I know what time it is. I'm like that because you're the only kid. I ain't doing all that. Get the phone. But you gonna let me see my grandkids? I'm about to kick up some dust. That's gonna be outrageous, my sister. You ain't never gotta talk to me ever again, love. But I was your protector, and I still will be as long as I live. I'm gonna continue to pray for you. But the prayers, they're working. You're blocking them. Before I left, I went to go whoop y'all. Let's tell the truth, and then I'm about to call Jaguar because I had enough of everybody. See, my child ain't gonna just do anything with me. I'm gonna put this hammer on your ass. I'm gonna knock your ass out. You better be glad I don't stuff you back in my pussy. You better be glad. Look, if I could, I would. And let you come back down that slope again. What you say?
There's a lot to take in that clip. First of all, did you guys catch she said I'm a big girl now? So what were you before? China, Black China is in, I want to say her, I really don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's in her like mid 30s, I want to say. So she's a grown ass woman. So I'm a big girl now. All right. And granted, she did have, and this is not an excuse because I had my son, my first child at 17. But if I'm not mistaken, she had Black China when she was 16. And I'm not going to go into how she was conceived and things like that. You guys can look that up. But she also did tell her daughter how she was conceived and things like that. Just really hurtful things, so you guys can look it up. But one thing I noticed is that Black China's mother was fine when she was in the music videos, when she was, walking, rolling along with her in the business ventures. She even claimed to be her manager at one point, and she was fine. But now that Angela has decided to go her own way, grow up, disconnect from the abusive, toxic relationship she has with her mother, she goes on a rampage. Her mom goes on a rampage. Now her daughter's demonic. Now she's never liked her. It's very interesting how things have changed now. Right? All because her daughter's like, no, I'm choosing peace. One thing from the previous clip that we watched that I realized, she said Angela is no longer around and, Black China, she never liked her. However, in my opinion, I think that Angela was the young girl that took the toxicity and didn't say a word. She didn't fight back because, it was just easier to go along. She didn't want to be on her mother's bad side. And she claims not to care about this Black China character, right? And doesn't want her to call her ever because, she's the worst person in the world. But that's exactly what's happening. And Toxic Mothers, she's like, everything she is talking about is like Toxic Mothers 101. Tokyo Tony can write a book and teach all the toxic mothers around the world how to be this person. She fucking TED Talks over here. They love to say, we gave birth to you. Okay, thank you for your service. Thank you so much. I mean, what else do you want from us? What else do you want me to say? We don't owe our mothers anything. Taking care of us is your job. Like, and I say this all the time, that is bare minimum. Taking care of us, making sure we're fed, making sure we have everything we need, making sure that we're in school, making sure that, we have some type of love and affection. Like these are things that you need to do as a parent. We don't owe you anything. Oh, the prayers are working, but you're blocking. So then they're not working. It's really just going around in circles saying things to just trigger someone to have a very negative response. How can you pray for me, but then threaten to take me out? Somebody please explain, make it make sense, because I don't get it. But this is what they want. They want to see you fail. They want to see you hurt. They want to see you upset because that brings them a sense of joy and a sense of, I told you so. I told you you need me in your life because things will go terribly for you. This is why. I don't know. Let's look at this one.
I'm a living sacrifice. That's why I know I'm a living sacrifice. Bitch ain't called yet. Bitch ain't called yet. You on every platform talking about a blood implant, a fucking face injection, and I believe in God. Show it, bitch. Let's see you come out that fucking demonic ass mansion I never sleep in. Ain't nobody ever seen me sleep in that motherfucker, bitch. No. I'm in the guest house and lock that motherfucker up and put a chair at all doors.
I'm gonna give you a second chance contact.
Uh-huh. Toxic mothers all around the fucking nation do this. They victimize themselves. Once they do all the harm, they're the ones that are the victims. She's upset for getting exactly what she wants, though. Is that what she's saying? Because she's not getting the phone call. She just said in the last clip, I don't want anybody to call me. I don't want her to call me, her demonic fingers to dial my numbers. So you're getting exactly what you want. Right? This is something that all toxic mothers love to do. You do exactly what it is that they want, and then all of a sudden you're the one being weird. You're the one being disrespectful. She's just trying to take control of the situation. She's trying to take control of a situation that's already taken its course. Right? To make it seem like everything is happening because she wants it to, because she's the one in charge. Why is that? Especially because your daughter is a grown woman. See, as a child, it's different, right? Because growing up, I couldn't take charge. She took charge, and that made me very, very angry. And she knew that. And me going through that turmoil is what made her kind of like laugh maniacally and say, oh, I told you so. But then as soon as you get older and you're like, no, I'm taking charge of my life, you're weird. She's the sacrifice. I don't know. So this is especially triggering for me because, like I said, this is exactly what happened to me once I decided that I was just going to listen and stay quiet and not give in to temptation, the temptation of fighting or fighting back or trying to defend myself. This is what I had to do as a young child because it was kind of like the what I like to call the Matilda effect, right? I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, right? I'm smart, you're dumb. So for me, it was easier to just sit back and let the moment pass than just trying to explain myself or defend myself. But that also made me feel like I was losing my mind because I was fighting against the urge to speak my mind, my truth, and say, no, that's wrong, or please listen to me. Yeah. So I shared this slide in the past, and these are the effects that toxic mothers have on their daughters. You might need to pause to read, but I will let you know right now. This is all this shit right here is right on point. Absolutely right on point. Right? Women who go through toxic situations with their mothers or have toxic relationships, they develop trust issues. They absolutely do. They either show too much affection or not, no affection at all. Their relationships with everyone else is flawed, whether it's with their children, peers, romantic relationships. They don't know how to communicate. And I can't help but feel that this is what our mothers wanted for us all along. I do. Their life didn't work out how they wanted it to. So they see a young girl, their daughters, with a clean slate. And instead of nurturing them and loving them and pushing them down, you know, the right path, they want them to go down their path, their bumpy ride, because it didn't work out for them. So they're like, you know what? We'll have her do it. That's what they do. And then when we try to deviate from that terrible bumpy ride, we're disrespectful. We don't listen. We have problems. We have issues. Like Eminem, you have some issues. I think you need some counseling. All for wanting to be in a better place mentally, physically, and emotionally. Sure. Mi familia, go subscribe to the It's Me Shell podcast YouTube channel. Link is in the description. And don't forget to click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. La Comai's merch corner is up and running, so make sure you go check out the corner. And you know, La Comai is super lit, so you don't want to miss any of that. But bringing it back to me, I know you love to hear me sing the scene. Now you can watch me set the scene, and it doesn't get any better than that. I'm Gente. So I said right before the break that this clip was brought to you by a memory. And as I was scrolling, again, like I said, doing my research, I found this clip and it really did remind me of something, similar things that I went through. But this one's pretty big because for some reason, I don't want to say every toxic mother out there, but toxic mothers love to use like that complex of like God is gonna punish you because of X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Why am I being punished? So something I realized that happens when we break free and find our own path is that these mothers tend to try to bring the attention back on themselves, which I feel is like the premise of this entire episode. So I'll play this clip and I'll explain what I mean.
I'm not going for it because she mad, shorty. I am God's child, not China. China is a PR stunt. Come on, bitch, we know better. I don't give a fuck. She'll never talk to me in life, child. I raised her, had her, taught her. She know everything. She know everything. This bitch is faking. In Jesus' name, stop her right now. Put her on her back for playing with you, Lord. Take her name out the Lamb's Book of Life. If she playing with you, Lord, in Jesus' name, you're not going to do that.
Right. I remember I was like 11 or 12 when we were talking about what we wanted to do when we grew up in school. And my response was always, oh, I want to help people or I want to do things to help people, help the community. I was really big on trying to help like the elderly because so every summer we would go to Dominican Republic. And of course I was around my grandmother who had her own home and she had her husband, but she was elderly. So I was always like, okay, I'm going to take care of her. And everybody loves their grandma, right? So I was like, I just want to take care of her and make sure she's good. So I felt that same way, when it came to just life in general. So I would always say that. So I remember I went home and I was talking about my day in school, as all children do. And I had mentioned that, I wanted to help the elderly and people in need because we were talking about what we wanted to do when we grew up. And my mother told me that I would never be able to do any of those things because I was so evil. So when I heard that, I asked myself, well, what's evil about me? As an 11, 12-year old, hormones are starting to kind of, flow. You're starting to look different. Bodies are starting to change. But with that also comes your mind because your mind is also growing. You're also developing. Your mind is developing. So I would always ask, like, what's so evil about me? What's so evil about me? I don't know. What am I doing that I am not aware of, but she can see? And that makes me a bad person. What is it? Again, Toxic Mothers 101. God is going to punish you for doing what you did, although you don't know what it is because I'm making it up, but I know what you did. The fuck out of here. Listen, I'm here to say that the only punishment you will receive is negative energy for having this fucked up woman around you, around your space. The lack of peace, the lack of tranquility, the lack of respect, the lack of love, that is all the punishment you will receive. I said what I said. But you know who has some stuff to say? Our friendly neighborhood bestie, La Comai. Mi gente, we've reached our favorite segment, Window Talks with La Comai. Some of my fans, friends, or foes send me questions, dilemmas, ideas, or comments, and La Comai gives them advice to help them out with whatever they got going on from her little round table in the kitchen by the window, or she reads them to death while sipping her tea. It's also a time La Comai reflects on shit and shares it with you all. She drops knowledge, talks shit, all that good stuff. There is no stopping her. So this week we are talking about toxic mothers. And La Comay had some stuff to say. Hola and hello. Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, everybody. It's me, La Comay. Buenas, it's me, La Comay, mi chelle. Welcome y bienvenido. How are you? How you been? Listen, I hope you've been good. Yeah, remember that I be blogging, okay? Just a reminder, but that's neither here nor there, and it's not about me right now. Or maybe it is. Let's see, because it's just not about that right now, okay? And I have some stuff to say, so let me tell you. All right, honey. First of all, I want to say I'm so sick of seeing Blacc Chyna's mother all over the internet. All right, she needs to be like fucking watering a lawn somewhere, knitting, crocheting. Una vaina ahí. I don't know. Sit your ass down. Leave your daughter alone, okay? This girl has been online saying that the things you're saying is hurting her. Why you keep doing it? Because you mad? You mad with the side of miserable, bitch. Yo no puedo. You need to be watering plants or learning how to grow flowers in your backyard somewhere. I don't know. I'm sick of seeing her everywhere. No puedo. I just can't. All right, listen. I remember watching Mommy Dearest and thinking, holy shit, I know that lady. That's my mother. Espérate, but it wasn't all of it, okay? It was most of it, but not all of it. But that's what made me think, well, maybe there's an issue here. Maybe there is something because it can't be that they all act the same way. I don't know. Maybe they know each other. I remember shit was really bad at home, okay, between my mother and myself. And I just didn't feel like going to school. I don't know. I wanted to rebel. That was my way of rebelling. And I wanted to be outside because I got a lot of love out there. All right. And with a mother like that, I'm going to be outside all day. And when I got caught out there, she put me on the PINS program, okay? And if you don't know what the PINS program is, you better look it up. But one of the biggest requirements of being on the PINS program was that I had to speak to someone every week and check in and tell them how I was doing and how I was feeling. And I remember the lady, she told me once, you're such a good kid. I don't know why you're here. Mira, pero being Hispanic and living in the Bronx with no papi, I was afraid of speaking out and saying, well, I think that the one that needs counseling is not me, it's this one over here. It's my mother. But let me tell you, she would sit there and cry and put on a whole production. She would pour her heart out and people would feel so bad for her. And it would make me feel really bad. Like, damn, I must really be doing something bad, like something wrong, but I just don't know what it is. Come to find out, it was just me being a kid. That was the terrible thing, okay? That was the most terrible thing in the world, me being a kid. And listen, once we would get home, all that crying would stop, and she was the queen of the castle again. It's like behind closed doors. It was a nightmare, but as soon as we would go out, she would be a completely different person. And that's exactly what this Tokyo Japanese, Japonesa Tony, whatever her name is, that's what she reminds me of. Mind you, I have siblings, but for some reason, it was only me. I don't know. Maybe it's because she knew that I was going to be extraordinary or something like that. I don't know. Y mira, ni me importa. But this is why we have these young girls out here making all these decisions in life because they didn't have that foundation in life and someone to listen to them and someone to nurture them. And listen, let me tell you, once I was able to peace out, I sure did, okay? And I think that some mothers feel like they can control their daughters forever in all aspects of life. And the moment that we have a difference in point of view at any age, they get angry, they hate you, they want to kill you, some crazy shit, my goodness. And they do or say anything, okay, to keep us really anxious and to keep us really mad. And let me tell you why I feel that way. Let me show you why.
To California and jump China's fence. I'm gonna leave a Sunday morning. I'll be there Tuesday. No, it's a threat. I'm gonna jump the fence. I'm telling you now. I already told them. I'm gonna jump the fence like I did before. I'm gonna kick her fucking front door open, and I'm gonna come in. Oh, one kick that motherfucker's in. You heard me. Drive all the way to California. I'm gonna kick her motherfucking door in. All the way. Bam! And I'm gonna come through there and I'm gonna get her.
Pero I mean, what is that all about? What in the fuckery is going on? ¿Qué es eso? So many ways to ask the same fucking question. Listen, to all the women out there, understand that you are not alone. We are out here. We had our mothers bully us all of our lives, but trust me, the grass is always greener on the other side. Okay, it takes a lot of healing, a lot of reflecting, a lot of self-love because they tried to break us down. But trust me, it will make you a stronger person. Okay, it'll make you a stronger woman for yourself and everyone around you when you start to heal. And that's all I'm gonna say about that, Mira. Don't forget, mi casa es su casa. Just let me know when you stopping by. Pero my window is always open. Well, you heard it, mi gente. La Comai has spoken. I went to therapy for many things, not only the toxic relationship with my mother, and it cleared up so many things for me. And I was able to realize like the biggest clarity for me was realizing I didn't do anything wrong, that I was a good person, a good child, and that my inner child had to heal. And I know we hear that a lot right now. It's become very mainstream. And I don't want to say that these people who say these things didn't go through anything. I'm just glad that they're promoting positive and healthy mental health. So, that's okay. But I tell you all the time, mental health is important. And if your mind isn't right, everything else isn't going to be right. Something toxic mothers don't like to teach you is self love because that's too empowering. And that's my opinion. They tear you down every chance they get, or when they realize that you're your own hype man, they're like, no, we can't have this. They're too confident in themselves. That's what I realized again in my journey. Honestly, with mothers like that, who needs enemies? Period. I'm good. I don't need no more enemies. I have a question though. Do we think that this is the reason why there's so many females out there who don't know how to be kind to one another or don't understand when another woman is kind towards them? And I don't know if I'm sounding a little confusing, but I ask that because there have been instances where I'm walking on the street and I've told women like I love your outfit or your hair looks fabulous or your shoes are cute and they've looked at me like I have seven eyes and four heads. Could it be because receiving a compliment from another female is impossible? Or they think it's impossible because the one woman in their lives or in our lives that is supposed to help us understand kindness and empowerment for one another was so shitty at their job that we think there can't be a nice female or nice women in the world. I would love to hear your thoughts, mi gente. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know. All right, so no shout out segment this week, pero don't forget if you're a podcaster or if you want me to shout out any of your favorite podcasts, DM me, email me, send me a message, and I will make sure to connect and give them a shout out because we all out here trying to grow mi familia, and there's nothing like showing each other love and support. Bueno, my people, mi gente, it's about that time. Like always, I want to thank you for sharing your precious moments with me. But before I go, I want to remind you to please make sure you follow me on Instagram at itsmi.chelle. Click that link in my bio. It'll take you to all my other socials. You can send me direct voice messages, emails, and so much more. Make sure you subscribe to the It's Me Shell podcast YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. Let's go, mi familia. You already know I'm trying to get those numbers up there. All links will be in the description below. And don't forget, I'm just out here trying to make getting to Friday a lot easier. And just like that, we've reached the end of It's Me, Shell. And you can catch It's Me, Shell every Monday to make sure your week starts off right. Or so we can just say, fuck Mondays together wherever you stream your podcasts and on YouTube. So next week, I have a work function. I have to go away for work, and I'm teetering on the idea of releasing the Funny Gals Talk episode or waiting till the following week. So don't come for me. I have to adult in the other aspect of my life. But if you follow me on social media, I will keep you posted, mi gente. And lastly, I want to say this. Isn't it crazy how toxic mothers mess up their daughters' lives and make it a living hell, but then turn around and say they have to protect their grandbabies and they think they can care for their grandchildren better than their own parents? Ain't that some shit? Peace and love. I'm out.
I see you. It's me. 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 Shell.